Lisa makes artisan granola. She started her business 5 years ago, and over the past year, she's been busy. She was really serious about making her business more resilient, so she did all the right things. She created a business continuity plan after a scary power outage that shut her down for 2 days. She cross-trained her team so every key member has a backup. She implemented supplier scorecards after one vendor nearly left her stranded, and she switched to more sustainable, reusable packaging. One evening, as she was sitting at her kitchen table at 10 p.m. and was looking over her bank statements, she turned to her husband and said, "I feel like we've done so much this year, but I honestly can't tell you if we're better off or just busier." Her husband asks, "Well, did those changes save you money?" And Lisa hesitated. "I think so," she said. She could not actually prove whether any of it made a difference. What also bothered her is that she didn't know which things to keep doing and which things to drop, because without tracking, everything feels equally important. And that's what today is about: how to track your business impact, how to know if all the work you're doing is actually making your business stronger, and how to prove it to yourself, your team, and anyone else who needs to see it. Welcome to the Green Ledger, Tips for a Sustainable Small Business, your guide to building a profitable and sustainable small business. This is a show where making money meets making a difference. I'm Anka, your host. In each episode, I explore how resilience fuels business growth and success by applying strategies and tools that big companies use, but making them super practical for your business. Today's topic may not be on your priority list, but it is a vital entry in your Green Ledger. Let's dive in. If you're thinking, "I don't have time to track more things," or "I'm not good with numbers, I'm more of a creative person," I hear you. However, you want your business to succeed, right? So give this a try. What we're doing here is getting intentional about what we track so we can make better decisions. And the math is not hard. We're not building financial models. It's just, did this number go up? Did this number go down? Why? That's it. Let me ask you, which would you rather have? Option A, a vague feeling that maybe, possibly, things are getting better or worse. You're not really sure. Or option B, clear proof that you saved enough on energy costs to afford that equipment upgrade you've been delaying. That's $3,000 you didn't send to the electric company. You redirected toward growing your business instead. One of these lets you sleep at night. One of these lets you walk into a bank and ask for a loan with confidence. I'm sure you heard of "you can't manage what you don't measure." So let's talk about how to do this in a way that actually fits your life as a small business owner. Here's where I'm going to let you in on something the big companies know that most small businesses owners don't. There's this thing called the GRI standards that stands for Global Reporting Initiative. It's basically the gold standard for measuring business impact. Companies like Patagonia, Microsoft, Unilever, Ben & Jerry's, they all use it to report on their sustainability and resilience. If you've ever seen one of those big corporate sustainability reports, it's probably using GRI. There are a couple more standards and frameworks that can be used for impact reporting, but I recommend this one for small businesses. Okay, so GRI. If you go look at the GRI report online, you're going to see 80 to 100 pages of data, charts, graphs, third-party verification, detailed methodology, notes, footnotes, and you're going to think, "Yeah, that's not happening, not in this lifetime." And I agree. It's not realistic for a small business. And I'm not saying that you need that big GRI report. You need the logic behind it. Because the GRI framework, at its core, asks two simple questions. One, how does the outside world impact your business? And 2, how does your business impact the outside world? That's it. That's the whole framework. Everything else is just details and the data to support it. The terms the big companies use are financial materiality and impact materiality. You may remember that we touched on this in episode 4. We talk about it now from the perspective of measuring your impact. So back to the framework, let's call it the two-way mirror. One side of the mirror shows what hits you, the external forces that affect your business. So this is the outside in. Examples: rising energy costs that eat up into your margins, supply chain disruptions that stop your production, labor shortages that leave you short-staffed, new regulations or tariffs that change your costs, climate events like heat waves, storms or wildfires, technology changes, and market shifts. The other side shows what you create, your ripple effects in the world, so the inside out. Examples: your effect on your employees, their well-being, growth, and financial stability, your use of resources like energy, water, or materials, your impact on the local community and local economy, the waste you generate or the waste you avoid, how you treat your suppliers and contribute to their success. When you track both sides of this mirror, you start seeing patterns and connections. You start understanding where improving one thing strengthens something else. Here's an example. When you reduce waste, that's an inside-out impact, right? You're affecting the environment, reducing what goes to the landfill, good for the planet, but it also saves you money on trash pickup. It reduces your exposure to rising disposal fees. It might even reveal inefficiencies in your production process that you can fix. That's outside in financial benefit. So that 30% waste reduction, that might save you $500 a year on garbage pickup, enough to fund your website redesign, something you've been saying someday about for 3 years. Now you're not throwing that money away, you're investing it in marketing instead. See how they are connected? That's the power of the two-way mirror. Now, big companies track dozens and dozens of metrics across both sides. They have a whole team, probably whole teams, doing this full time. They publish a 90+ page report every year. You're going to track 5 metrics, maybe 10, if you're feeling ambitious. And here's a bonus. When you do grow up, when you do need to attract investors or apply for sustainability certifications or respond to a customer asking about your environmental or social practices, guess what? You're already speaking the language. You've got the foundation in place. You're not scrambling to create something from scratch under pressure. You've been tracking this all along. Okay, so let's build your version. We're going to call it your bite-sized GRI. Similar framework to what the Fortune 500 companies are using, way less complex, and it fits on 1-2 pages. Here's the structure. Section A. It's what impacts you, so the outside in, your risk reality check. This section answers the question, what external forces shaped your business this year, and how did you adapt? Pick 1-2 metrics that matter most to your specific business. Here are some examples and notice how the story is weaved in. Example 1. Energy costs. Energy prices spiked 25% in our region this year. We thought we'd have to raise our prices, which would have hurt our competitiveness. Instead, we installed LED lighting throughout the facility and added programmable thermostats. Result, we saved enough to give 2 employees the raises they deserved, raises we thought we couldn't afford. That's $5,000 we redirected from utility bills to our people. Our total energy costs only went up 7% despite the 25% price increase. Our team knows we invest in them, not just in keeping the lights on. Example 2 is on supplier reliability. Our main ingredient supplier left us hanging 3 times last year with delayed deliveries. Each time we had to scramble, delay customer orders, and make excuses. It was embarrassing and stressful. We implemented a supplier scorecard system and qualified a backup supplier for our critical ingredients. Result, we haven't missed a single customer deadline in 6 months. 0 production delays due to supplier issues this year. Our on-time delivery to customers went from 78% to 100%, which means we stopped losing sales to competitors. Example 3, labor availability. We struggled to fit 4 positions this year, and it was taking us 60 to 90 days per hire. I was spending a lot of hours reviewing resumes and conducting interviews instead of working on my business or being with my family. We implemented an employee referral program with a small bonus, $200 per successful hire. Result, I got back 10 hours a month that I was spending on recruiting. That's time I'm now using to build wholesale strategies instead of posting job ads. Our last 3 hires came through referrals, which filled within 30 days, and they've been better cultural fits because they were referred by people who understand what we're about. Okay, now let's go to section B, which is what you impact, so the inside out, your ripple effect. This section answers, how did your business affect people, planet, or community this year? Again, pick 1 or 2 metrics that align with your values and your business priorities. Here are 4 examples with a story weaved in. Example 1, people impact. We cross-trained 5 employees on key roles, so we're not completely dependent on any single person knowing how to do something. Result, when my production manager had an emergency, I knew we could handle things until she returned and was able to give her the space she needed. Before this, I would have panicked. This time, 2 people stepped up seamlessly and I didn't have to come in early. Our employee turnover dropped from 35% to 15%. That saved us roughly $12,000 in recruiting and training costs. More importantly, when we surveyed our team, morale scores increased by 30%, and 3 employees specifically mentioned they feel more valued and see clearer growing paths. That means they're not looking at job boards anymore. Example 2, on environmental impact. We switched to reusable packaging for wholesale orders. This got us positive feedback from 3 major wholesale customers who track their own Scope 3 emissions. We started composting all our food waste instead of tossing it in the dumpster. We diverted 30% of our total waste from landfill, which is about 800 pounds a month. Result, we saved enough on trash pickup to fund our Employee Appreciation Day, something we've been putting off for a few months. That's $500 per year we're not literally throwing away. Example 3 is on community impact. We partnered with our local food bank, donating 200 pounds of product per quarter. Result, we turned possible waste into goodwill and marketing. The food bank featured us in their newsletter, which goes out to 5,000 people. We generated 15 new direct customers through their volunteer network, people who specifically sought us out because they heard our story. Example 4, supplier impact. We shifted 40% of our purchasing to local suppliers within 50 miles of our facility instead of using distant distributors. Result: we cut our average delivery time from 5 days to next day. That means we carry less inventory, which freed up about $3,000 in working capital that we reinvested in equipment. We also built real relationships where we can visit suppliers in person when issues arise. 2 of our local suppliers have referred customers to us. Supporting local economy turned out to support our growth too. So we're showing the ripple effects your business creates, not to check a corporate responsibility box, but because these things have real business benefits that connect back to your resilience and your bottom line. See the pattern? Start with the impact. What this lets you do or avoid. Then include the number, the percentage or dollar amount for credibility. End with the meaning, what actually changed in your business or your life. The numbers prove you're serious. The narrative shows why it matters. And section C, what's next? Your forward look. This is where you set 2-3 goals for the coming year. Make them SMART, S-M-A-R-T. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, but also make them meaningful. Here are examples of good goals with story framing. Goal 1. We want to stop worrying about water shortages during heat waves affecting our production. By June 30th, we'll reduce water use by 15% by installing low-flow fixtures and training our staff on conservation. That should save us about $400 annually and protect us if water restrictions come to our area like they did to our county next door. Goal 2. We want to reduce the turnover in our company. By December, we'll increase overall employee retention to 90% by implementing quarterly one-on-one check-ins with each team member and offering at least one professional development opportunity per person. If we hit that goal, we'll save around $8,000 in turnover costs, and I'll get back about 15 hours I currently spend on recruiting and use it to grow the business instead. And goal 3, we want to never again face a situation where one supplier problem shuts us down. By end of Q2, we'll have one qualified backup supplier for each of our 5 critical ingredients with at least one test order placed to verify quality. That gives us the confidence to say yes to bigger orders without the fear of letting customers down. That's it. That's your whole report. 3 sections. 1. What hit us from outside and how we adapted. What we gained or protected. 2. What ripples we created in the world. What improved and what it meant. And 3. What we're focused on next. What we'll gain when we hit these goals. You can call it your business health check or your impact snapshot or your annual review, whatever language makes sense for you and your team. And here's the beauty of this approach. When you tell these stories with the narratives and the numbers, people understand what you're actually accomplishing. Your team sees their efforts paying off. Your customers see why your prices might be slightly higher. Lenders see that you're managing risk proactively. And when you grow, and I hope you do, when you need to attract investors or apply for sustainability certifications or respond to corporate buyer asking detailed questions, you've already got the foundation. You're speaking the same language as the big players, just at a smaller scale. You're using the same framework. Here's something that you might not know, and this is why tracking and documenting your impact is becoming even more important for small businesses. More and more large corporations, lenders, and buyers are looking for responsible business partners, and they want proof, not just promises. When a bigger company is considering working with you, They're doing their due diligence. They want to know, is this business stable? Is it well managed? Do they treat their employees well? Are they managing their risks proactively? Do they share our values? 10 years ago, only the big suppliers got asked these kinds of questions. Now, it's happening at every level of the supply chain. But instead of panicking or scrambling when questions come, imagine being able to say, actually, yes. Here's our one-page impact snapshot. We track energy efficiency, employee retention, supply chain resilience, and community partnerships. We review these metrics quarterly, and here's how we're improving year over year. Suddenly, you're not just a vendor competing purely on price. You're a strategic partner who takes these things seriously, who speaks their language, who thinks long-term, and who's building a business that's going to be around for a while. When you have this kind of documentation, with both the numbers and the story of what those numbers mean, you stand out. You're the small business that thinks like a big business but moves faster, cares more, and offers more personal service. When you can show that you're proactively managing risks, investing in your people, and thinking about your broader impact, and then you can tell the story of what that actually means in terms of business outcomes, that matters to customers, to lenders, to partners, and to employees who want to work for a company they're proud of. The impact report isn't just for external audiences though. It's your internal compass, your decision-making tool, and your proof that all the hard work you're doing actually matters. Okay, let's make this practical with a simple timeline. You don't have to do everything at once. Here's how to get started. In the next 30 days, pick 5 core metrics. Choose 1 or 2 from each side of the 2-way mirror, plus 2-3 goals. Focus on what you most wish you knew about your business right now. Then write down your baseline. Where are you today on each of these numbers? Don't worry if the numbers aren't great. This is your starting line. No judgment. You're just establishing where you are so you can measure progress. Finally, take some initial steps toward improving these metrics. In the following 30 days, compare month 2 to month 1. Did anything change? Why? Have a 15-minute conversation with your team about one win you can celebrate. Share what improved and what it means. Maybe, hey team, we cut energy costs by 8% this month. That's $200 we saved that we're putting towards the new mixer we wanted to buy. Also ask yourself, is tracking this actually useful, or should I track something different? It's okay to adjust your metrics if you realize something isn't as important as you thought. In the last 30 days of this 90-day timeline, create your one-page impact snapshot using the 3 sections format we talked about. That is your proof of concept report. Share it with your team only if you want, or post a summary on your website or in your newsletter, or tell one customer. You decide, but let people know you're paying attention to these things and making progress. Finally, decide which initiatives are clearly working and delivering value, which ones need adjustment. That's your cycle. Every 90 days, so 4 times a year, you review, you adjust, you improve. Over time, this becomes as natural as checking your bank balance or reviewing your sales. It's just part of how you run your business. Now, here's what's important. Those first 90 days are your proof of concept. You're testing whether tracking actually helps you make better decisions. And I'm willing to bet it will, because every business owner who tries this says, I wish I did this years ago. Once you've proven to yourself that it works, make it operational. Create a simple data collection process. Maybe it's a monthly calendar reminder, or your bookkeeper pulls numbers quarterly, or your operations manager reports metrics at team meetings. Make it easy and routine, and then stick to the rhythm. Monthly, you collect your data, 20 minutes. Quarterly, you update your one-page snapshot, share with the team and adjust course, maybe 30 minutes. And annually, create a more comprehensive 2 to 3 page report with a full year story, photos, trends, and next year goals, 2 to 3 hours. Your quarterly snapshot keeps this current. When someone asks, you have fresh data to share. Your annual report shows sustained improvement over time. After a year or two, you can say, we've improved energy efficiency 6 quarters in a row, or retention has increased 30% in the last 18 months. That's proof that you're not just reacting, you're building resilience systematically. Alright, if you want to start doing something this week, here it is, just 2 actions. Action 1, pick your first metric and imagine the narrative. Choose the one number you most wish you knew about your business right now. But here's the key, don't just pick energy costs. Ask yourself, if I reduced energy costs, what would I do with those savings? That's the narrative. Maybe it's hire the part-time help I need, or finally upgrade equipment, or give raises, or take a real vacation without worrying. And action 2 is find your baseline. Look back 30, 60 or 90 days if you can. What was that number back then? That's your before. And if you can't find historical data, that's okay. This number becomes your baseline going forward. And if you want a template to make this easier, I'll put a bite-sized GRI template in the show notes. It's your one-page version with prompts to both narrative and numbers. You can fill it out in 20 minutes once you have your data. And if you don't see it by the time you need it, reach out to me directly. I'll have my email address in the show notes. Okay, we're almost at the end of the show. Here's what we discussed today. You don't need to be Microsoft or Patagonia to track your business impact. You just need to borrow their framework and scale it down to your reality. The GRI reports that big companies publish might be 100 pages with teams of people working on them. Yours will be 1 to 2 pages and you can update within minutes. They track hundreds of metrics, you're tracking 5, maybe 10. But the thinking is the same, and that's what matters. More importantly, you'll learn to tell the story behind the numbers. Don't just say, reduced energy by 15%. Say, saved enough on energy to fund 2 employee raises. That's a 15% reduction that helped us invest in our people. Don't just say, improved turnover from 40% to 15%. Say, got back 8 hours a month I was spending on recruiting. That's a full workday I now use to grow the business. Numbers prove you're credible. Narratives prove you understand what matters. When you see your business through this two-way mirror, understanding both what hits you from the outside and the ripples you create in the world, and when you can tell those stories with both meaning and measurement, you make smarter decisions, you build resilience, and you tell a story that customers, lenders, partners, and employees actually care about and remember. That's how small businesses with big thinking win. Remember, you can't manage what you don't measure, and you can't inspire what you can't storytell. So start tracking. Start with one number this week. Think about what that number will let you do when you improve it. Build from there. In 90 days, you'll have your first impact snapshot with real stories and real numbers, and you'll wonder how you ever ran your business without it. Okay, next time we're going to pause and reflect. We've covered a lot over these 9 episodes, from business continuity to risk management, from cybersecurity to supplier relationships, from people strategy to community building, and now to measuring and storytelling your impact. In episode 11, we'll look back at the journey, talk about what's changed in your business mindset and how to keep this momentum going forward. We'll create your personal resilience roadmap, a simple plan for the next 6 to 12 months that pulls together everything we've learned. Until then, remember, small steps lead to big impact, and resilience isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to the Green Ledger Tips for a Sustainable Small Business. I'm Anka, and I hope you'll mark today's topic in your Green Ledger and let it inspire fresh ideas to make your business sustainable. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and share the podcast with other small business owners who want to build a profitable and resilient business. I love growing this community of like-minded, forward-thinking, responsible small business owners. If you want to be notified when I post on my blog or create a free tool, please sign up to my blog. I'll share details in the show notes. Also, if you want to connect with me directly, I put my contact info in the show notes as well. I love to hear from you. That's it for today. Join me next time for more practical tips to help your business thrive. Until then, stay resilient, stay prepared.